Hi, I'm Pramod Kumar and I'm going to teach you the 2-degree freedom system. We'll just introduce the 2-degree freedom system, 2 degree of freedom system in this lecture, and this is the mechanical vibration lecture. So we'll start with the unit 2, and in unit 2 the 2-degree freedom system. In that unit we'll just study the free vibration of a spring coupled system, mass coupled system, bending vibration of a 2-degree freedom system, forced vibration, and vibration absorber and vibration isolation with two lecture hour. So objective of this lecture will be the understanding of 2-degree freedom and derivation of the equations for the 2-degree freedom. The vibrating system, which requires two coordinates to describe its motion, are called 2-degree freedom. These coordinates are called generalized coordinates when they are independent of each other and equal in number to the degree of freedom of the system. Unlike single degree of freedom system where only one coordinate system hence one equation of motion is required to express the vibration of the system. The 2-degree of freedom, minimum two coordinates and hence two equations of motions are required to represent the motion of the system. For conservative natural system, these equations can be written either using mass and stiffness matrix. A few example 2-degree of freedom is given over here. So you can see that the two masses M1 and M2 are connected by the springs K1, K2, and K3, and this K1 and K3 is connected and that with the wall, and K2 connects to mass body M1 and M2. So as discussed in the previous lectures, one may easily derive the equation of the motion by using the D'Alembert's principle or energy principle or Lagrange principle, Hamilton principles. So if you go into the free body diagram of these two masses, then you can get the free body diagram in this way. So if there is the M1 x1, the acceleration in this acceleration of M1 will be M1 into x1 double dot, and the spring forces the spring forces will be K1 x1, and spring forces in K2 will be K2 into x1 minus x2. The same way, the free body diagram you can get the idea where the forces are acting, where the spring forces and the inertial forces are acting. So let's see the various degree of freedom video and we'll understand what this degree of freedom stands for. So see, this string is just vibrating, and we'll see how this system will have the different degree of freedom and the different frequencies. Now that this light is
someone stay at home and hand out
actuating
candy, or
with
just not do
the
that?
frequency, and that's why you can see
Gotcha.
the ball or the ball
like
with
no
a string
one
at particular frequency only.
Doing it. The whole thing, we don't have to do
Two
anything.
masses are connected with the 2-degree
If you want to give me this part right
you
here.
can see
Got
this
it.
object, this is the 2-degree freedom. We'll see the
Do you want me to stop it or just
response of the
continue?
system.
Down like 5 or 6 times, or maybe like 15 seconds left.
The behavior of this 2-degree freedom is different than the previous one. No, they are just vibrating with the opposite phase.
5, 10.
There's 10.
Okay.
Another 15.
Yeah.
The operation of that phase is can be seen in this figure clearly. Since the light is just light is also having the same frequency, that's why it seems to be a static one. Now you will have a 3-degree freedom where two masses are connected.
Okay.
You have the balls like right in the middle of the picture.
Yep.
Now see if the sector mass it seems to be a static one, and both ends are vibrating.
You should go back and sit in front of that light.
It's a very good educational video. You can just have a look of the full video on this reference, which is given over here. So in that way, we can just do some other analysis.
All right.
So now the derivation of equations using the D-Albert's principle of mass m1 and from the free body diagram is given in this expression, and similarly for them to be given in this system. So important points to remember is inertia forces act opposite to the direction of acceleration. So in both the free body diagram, inertia forces are shown towards left, and and then the spring m1 assumes x1 is greater than x2. The spring will pull mass m2 towards right by k2, and that will be x2 minus x1, and it is stressed by x2 minus x1 towards right. It will exert a force of k2 into x2 minus x1 towards the left on the mass 1. Similarly, with using if assuming x1 is greater than x2, the spring gets decompressed by an amount x2 minus x1 and exert a tensile force of k2 x2 minus x1. These things will be clear only when you just see the system with your own understanding. One may note that in both cases the free body diagram remain unchanged. Now, if you use the Lagrange principles, where kinetic energy and potential energy will be given in this expression, and the total Lagrangian will be the Lt minus OU. That means this is the kinetic energy and minus potential energy. The equation of derivation of Lagrange principle says that dl that means derivation of dou L upon dq dot x minus dou L upon dq, which will yield in this form. And for this equation which will be in this form, because you have to differentiate with the qk dot and this expression. Now writing the equation of the motion in the matrix form will be given in this one. So this, if you just remember, this is the same expressions which we derived analytically. Now a few examples we'll consider it over here. So consider a lathe machine which can be modeled for a rigid bar, and with a center of mass not coinciding with its geometric center and supported by two springs K1 and K2. So this is the lathe machines, and this is the center of mass K1 and K2 is there. So this is the reaction force by the spring, which will be Kx minus L1 theta c and K2 x c plus L2 theta c. So this is the inertia force which is acting. This is the inertia force acting upward, and this is the spring force which is also acting upward, and this is the reaction force which is acting downwards. In this example, it will be shown that how the use of different coordinate system will lead to a static and dynamic coupled or uncoupled equation of motion. This is a 2 degree of freedom system, and one may express the coordinate system in many different ways. The above figure shows that the free body diagram in the system where point G is the center of mass, point C represents a point on the bar at which we want to define the coordinates for this system. This point is at a distance from the left end, and from the right end, distance between points G and C will be E. So assuming the linear displacement of the system of the point C and rotation about the point C, the equation of motion of this system can be obtained by using the Lagrange principles, which already been explained in the previous slide. That leads to the following solution. Solution of that system will be given in this one. So for further explanation, you can just consult the handouts given at your school level. Again, taking moment of all the forces about point C, this is the expression, and noting that Jc equal to Jg plus Mg, the above two equations in matrix form can be written in this format. And now, depending on the position of the point C, few cases can be stated below. Case 1 where E equal to 0, that means point C and G coincide. The equation of motion in this way will be written in this way. Now here you can keep, this is the case, a special case for the E equal to 0. So in this case, the system is statically coupled, and if K1 L1 is equal to K2, this couple disappears, and we obtain coupled X and theta vibration. Case 2, if K1 L1 equal to K2 L2, the equation of motion becomes this function. Hence, in this case, the system is dynamically coupled but statically uncoupled. And case 3, if you choose L1 equal to 0, that is point C coincide with the left end, the equation of motion will become this way. Here the system is both statically and dynamically coupled. So this is very important, where the system is called dynamically coupled and statically dynamically coupled, and system is dynamically coupled but is statically uncoupled. So with this expression you can understand what are those system is all about. So normal mode vibration. Again, consider the problem of the spring mass system where m1 equal to m and m2 equal to 2m. Then k1 equal to k2 equal to k3 equal to k. That means all spring constant is the same. Then the equation will be written in this form. And we define a normal mode oscillation as one in which each mass undergo harmonic motion of the same frequency passing simultaneously through the equilibrium position. For such motion, we let that x1 will be a e to the power omega t and x2 will be a2 into e to the omega t. So hence, with the solution of this will be given in this form, and the matrix form, the same equations will be written like this one expression. So hence, for the non-zero value of a1 and a2, for the non-trivial solution, non-trivial response will be given in this form. By substituting omega squared equal to delta, equation of above equations will lead to this form, in this form. And if we calculate, if we solve it, this quadratic equation, then we'll find delta 1 equal to, in this format, which is only 0.634 k by m, and delta 2 will be this expression, which will be 2.366 k by m. So the natural frequencies of the system are omega 1 into under root lambda 1, that means 0.634 k by m, or omega 2 will be 2.366 k by m. It may be observed that these frequencies, as both the equations are not independent, we can get unique value of a1 and a2. So one should find a normalized value. One may normalize the response by finding the ratio of t, that means a1 upon a2 equal to k upon 2k minus m omega, and that means k will be and that will be equal to k into 2k minus m lambda. The normalized value can be given by a1 by a2 equal to this expression, substituting omega squared equal to lambda 1 0.634 k by m, and thus into the same value, as both these equations are linearly dependent. Here a1 by upon a2, that means at lambda equal to lambda 1 will be 0.732, and similarly for omega 2 square lambda 2, 2.366 lambda by 2. Therefore we get a1 by a2 at the lambda equal to lambda 2 equal to minus 2.73 upon 1. So these are the questions we like to solve this ones. To derive the normal modes of vibration of a double pendulum with the same length and mass of the pendulum, this is the case where you have to find which is the statically coupled or dynamically uncoupled. So with you have to understand what are those cases, and with the help of that one, we have to derive the normal modes of vibration of a spring mass system, which already have been given to you, and you can easily derive that system. Now these are the books. These are the textbook, and you can use the textbook of SS Rao book, which I have already shared it, and it is available on the net. And you can get that book easily from the net. You can download it, and most of the things will be taught from that book, and which is said to be the Bible of vibrations. So I'm not basically promoting that book. The thing is, the book is really nice one, SS Rao book, but which is not mentioned over here, because these are the books which is mentioned in the syllabus in our book. But that book is these books are also good, but we will refer that book most frequently, so that it will be better you to buy that book and solve the few questions from those books. So this is the first lecture of the unit 2, and we'll just meet in the coming days to have the more understanding of the second degree of freedom system and the mechanical vibration. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any queries, you can ask me personally, or you can just message me, and if you see that message, and we'll respond to you accordingly. Thank you so much. Bye.